Advisor of the KAEP. Please welcome Mr. Chung Chun-han.
Good afternoon, and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much you join us today. My name is Sonny An. And people call me sometimes senior advisor. Thank you, Dr. Mark. You will be good name. Thank you. I like it. As you know, today is very, very sad and heartbroken honest day in the Korean War. You are the senior adult who fought in the Korean War on June 25, 1950. And their family, at the time, no one remembered the little country in the east poor country in the world with the national income very, very poor. Thank you, of course, senior adult parents who served in the Korean War and the advanced liberal democracy who sacrificed so much to save a little lone country in the East. At the time, I was 3 years old. My wife was not born in the war. At this time, let me talk very simply, because not enough time, about how it's the different Korean economic defense industry since the Korean War 1950. I is very, very proudly Korean economic and defense industry. 7 years after the mutual defense treaty between South Korea and the United States have become half of the 10th economic power in the world, the Korean economy has developed day by day, and that the country that received aid has turned into a country that giving aid. Well, right now, South Korean companies are investing in the United States economy. SK and the Samsung company that you know and love are building semiconductor factories across the United States and creating half a million jobs. In addition, Hyundai Motor, Hyundai Industry are creating 300,000 jobs. Also, Daewoo Shipbuilding and the Hyundai Shipbuilding are the #1 shipbuilding company in the world. They will invest in the ship repair business in the United States to repair aging bridges, which will create many jobs. In addition, Hyundai Construction will help to solve the traffic trouble in the Los Angeles by the construction on the ground subway system throughout the city. Many of the Korean economy became the country of the American economy. Well, I'd like to talk about the development Korean defense industry after Korean War. According to the GFP, renowned United States Military Assessment Organization, the United States is ranked first. Russia second, China third, India fourth, and South Korea fifth. South Korea was not able to make even single rifle holster before 1950, but now South Korea exports from $150 billion to around several $100 billion after 2022. This weapon has been exported to as many as 16 countries, including Poland, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Arab Emirates, and Canada. Since the collapse of the missile agreement between South Korea and the United States has been exporting all vessel weapons with the exception of the nuclear weapon. For instance, joint power washing. This is a very, very dangerous weapon. It is a floating missile base in the sea. It floats the East Sea, South Sea, and West Sea, so North Korea cannot destroy it. Laser gun. South Korea made the first special gun in the world that is a laser gun. Drone. South Korea kept purchasing 100,000 drones. Cluster bomb. There is a beautiful weapon. There are 100 small bombs inside the large bomb. 100 small bombs can destroy 5 soccer fields. I say 5 soccer fields. And let me talk to EMP bomb and the monster missile Hyunmo 5. It is a centrifugal bunker buster that launches at 90 degrees to the ground and come down at Mach 10 from 1,000 kilometers out, causing a earthquake and destroy all electronic radio waves, electricity, and their backup to the Stone Age. Those weapons will very destroy 200 soccer fields. I say 200 soccer fields is essentially like a nuclear weapon. All of this history is sent to you, the people who made it happen. Thank you. South Korea is under severe nuclear threat from the North Korea. Article 10 of the NPT states that if one of the two countries is under severe nuclear threat, the other can evade from the NPT and purchase the nuclear weapon. South Korea has the capability to make the nuclear weapon. 75% of the public is in favor of the purchasing nuclear weapon. South Korea has the money and the technology to make the nuclear weapon. United States promised to provide South Korea with a nuclear umbrella, but the people of South Korea none, because they would not give up New York and LA for the South Korea. You never can do that. South Korea is under constant nuclear threat from the North Korea. As you know, nuclear weapons are unusable weapons only to be purchased and used against the threat of the operation. United States should let the South Korea give its nuclear weapon. Not opposed? Yes, of course, not opposed. There are many polls around the Korean Peninsula that are also challenging the United States, and the United States can no longer oppose or defend itself against the hegemonic power. It's time for South Korea to help the United States. The United States should help South Korea go nuclear weapon. What you saying? You okay? Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry, still I got a baby in English. I hope you understand what I mean. I'm talking. Okay? So, thank you very much for joining us today. You know, very nice. You still young. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'd like to say a little bit about our guest speaker. Command Sergeant Major James N. Light enlisted in the Army on November 14, 1996, and attended non-staging unit training at Fort Knox, Kentucky. Light held every leadership position from tank gunner to brigade command soldier major. He served as battalion master gunner, brigade equal opportunity advisor, and senior military science instructor. Light's awards and decorations include, most notably, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star Medal, and the Meritorious Service Medal, the Army Commendation Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, the Combat Action Badge, and the Air Assault Badge. Please welcome Command Sergeant Major James N. Light.
that introduction. I appreciate it. And Wayne and the crew always insist on reading my bio, even though I tell them not to, right? I was like, nobody wants to hear that. But today is kind of important. So there's one award they left off that I'm extremely proud of, and that's the Korean Defense Service Medal.
Yeah.
Cool? That's right. And so, you know, it does no good to write a speech when you're this far down in the batting order, because there's so many smart, articulate, and passionate people that come up here and talk about what we're here to do today. That, you know, they cover all those points that you write down, and so it's better for me, I think, just to speak from the heart, from my perspective as an active duty United States soldier. And today, I would feel I'm representing the entirety of the DoD, because it's a multi-service effort to make sure that we keep Kim Jong-un and his goons north of that line, right? 100%. And before I get too deep in my comments, I just want to say that President Gilbert has a bringing ring to it. I might write you in November, man. You ready? Yeah, I like it. So I've had the opportunity now to speak at 4 different engagements with the Korean War Veterans Association here in El Paso. They keep inviting me back, and so they announced me, I think, is also one of the presidents. So I know maybe I've been promoted to honorary president of the association. I feel like that, right? And I think that connection between soldiers serving today and our veterans is absolutely paramount, right? It's about educating those that serve today about those that have come before us and what it takes to keep our people free and what it takes to keep free people around the world free. And the United States of America is the only country in the world that can project the kind of combat power to keep the forces of evil at bay in every corner of our planet. Right now, 1st Armored Division has soldiers on all 5 continents. 1st Armored Division is the division that I lead right here from Fort Bliss, Texas. And over the next 18 months, the entire division will deploy forward somewhere, whether that's Europe or that's somewhere in Central Asia or that's to the Pacific, to do exactly what we're talking about here, and that's to deter evil. And evil will always chew at the fringes of freedom, and the moment that we find it not worthy of our life is the moment that we will lose it. And so it's important that we have to teach our young generation of Americans and other countries that are our allies how important it is to have the population that's willing to stand up and fight when they're able. Having it right, yeah. Doing this event in this museum, taking a look at the museum and the exhibits here, getting our young people in here to see that and understand the sacrifice is, I think, a really good move, Wayne. So, great opportunity here for us all to learn about what you guys experienced. I've been there twice over the course of my career. I came in the Army in '96, and so 1997, Korea was my first duty station. That was, oh my gosh, it's hard to do math in public. That's 26 and some change. When I stepped foot on the Korean Peninsula for the first time, and it was midsummer. And the thing about Korea is, like, what's it like over there? Korea is a mixture between Vietnam and Siberia, if you're not tracking, right? So it's one of the hottest places in the world in the summer, and humid. And I grew up in Mississippi, so I've got some frame of reference. And it is one of the coldest places on the planet in the wintertime. And I could not help but think about those that fought the war when I was there on the peninsula as a young soldier, because I was experiencing some of the same hardships that they did, but under different circumstances, of course. My next tour to Korea was 2016. And so that's a full 20 years later before I walked back onto the peninsula. And what I saw was amazing. In 96, 97, I was still seeing recovery, right? Trees were still regrowing on the mountainsides. I could still see bunkers and trenches in the hillsides, some of them still in use as we continue to prepare our defense about what might come south. But 20 years later, what I saw was a country that rivals ours in terms of technology and in terms of modernization. And the same people, the same attitudes, the same discipline, the same welcoming nature that I experienced 20 years before was still there. And every Korean, every man and woman and child on that peninsula still thanks and appreciates the sacrifice of the American soldier 71 years ago. And so thank you for still appreciating it. I'll go ahead and wrap up here and be brief. Just a couple last comments about where we stand with the alliance today. There is still a significant U.S. presence in South Korea from all services. As we speak this week, we are deploying soldiers from 1st Armored Division into the Pacific as part of a deployment readiness exercise. The United States military stands ready to protect our allies to the death if required, now and in perpetuity. We have your back. Captain out. So I'll close by saying thank you again to our veterans, letting you know that we will make sure that our soldiers are ready to defend this nation. Call anywhere around the globe, anytime. And that this community is second to none across our country in terms of support to the United States soldiers. That star is always on and always welcoming us back to El Paso. We feel as though we're home when we're here and a valued member of your community. So thank you to El Paso, Mayor Leeser, if you're still here. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your community support. Paul, thank you for keeping the veterans organized and in support of what we do every day as active duty soldiers. We are proud to be here. We're proud to be United States soldiers. We're proud to be Americans. And in the United States Army, when we close out our speeches, we say, "This will defend." And this will defend means, yes, this country, our way of life, and most importantly, the Constitution of the United States. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. To recognize the continuing legacy of Korean War veterans, we want to present the scholarship and award. Kang-san Kim and President Gilbert will present the scholarship. The recipient, Makina Nambi, is the granddaughter of Ray D. Griffin, a Korean defense veteran. Makina has a huge heart for helping others. In middle school, she started her own charity called Fancy Food for the Homeless and has been involved in many other charities around the border region. Ray D. Griffin enlisted in the U.S. Army at the age of 18 in 1960. He was assigned to the 2nd Armored Division at Fort Hood in Texas. Later stationed in Ascom City in South Korea, his depot worked long hours to maintain preparation to keep soldiers and military personnel fed around the clock. Military food waste was required to be guarded from hungry Korean orphans, but he was able to bring surplus meal to the orphanages. On behalf of Makina Nambi, Ray D. Griffin will share a brief speech.
I didn't know I was going to give a brief speech, but that's okay. After the military, I stayed in El Paso. I was blessed to be sent here to William Boulevard Hospital. And after I got out, El Paso was my home. Fortunately, prior to going into the military, at the age of 14, I started working in car dealerships. So when I got out of the military, I went right back to car dealerships. 16 years later, I retired from car dealership. And so occasionally I get called to assist the car dealers in some way, which I appreciate that. But really my love for El Paso and veterans and the way El Paso welcomes all of the veterans, it's amazing. I appreciate that. A little bit about my daughter who's going to receive this scholarship award. She graduated this past June at school in Florida. She was in El Paso, she was born in El Paso, was here until her junior year. And because her mother works for Frontier Airlines, she had to move to Tampa and finish up her school there. But she loves El Paso. Her friends are in El Paso, and her mother has a hard time keeping her good in El Paso. But right now, she has to be at work, so she can't be here. So if she could, she'd be here, and I know she'd appreciate this award. Thank you very much.